Skye Squad, we are back in the building, baby. And we got to talk about this story that is making the rounds on social media and on the YouTube streets and on the radio. So Gary with the T basically let the streets know that there was some word on the streets from an alleged producer that Kandi was allegedly being fired after this season for being too boring. Now, when I was first sent this story, I saw it on the Ricky Smiley morning show on Instagram, but I didn't report on it at first because I thought, let me investigate this further. So I went to go look at it online. I went to Gary with the T's page. I didn't see it there on YouTube, but I did see it on the Ricky Smiley morning show on YouTube. So I will place that link in the description down below so that you guys can hear this for yourselves. Now that I've heard the entire replay, Gary also sounded skeptical of this bit of information as well. Now here's the thing. They were basically saying that Jeannie Mai Jenkins, Jeannie Mai Jenkins from The Real, who is now, with Young Jeezy, and who has the baby, and so they got their family, they split half their time in Atlanta, part-time in LA. They were saying that producers were eyeing her for the next season of The Real Housewives of the Atlanta. Now, personally, when I heard this, I said, that don't really sound too likely. Because from looking at this from a network perspective solely, one of the things that we know is typically, this is how it usually works. Now, I'm sure producers and the network know what has been filmed for this season, right? So for me, I don't understand how this would work given that they are basically promoting the heck out of Kandi's spinoff right now, which is going to be premiering March the 6th. So she has the relationship with the network, which we have already known, right? And so also she was just featured on their Instagram page on an Instagram live, So to me, I just feel like the network is invested heavily in Kandi, too invested at this point in time to be willing to fire her before a season is even premiering, So to me, that did not make any sense. And what we usually hear is that those types of calls aren't usually made until near the end of a season. So season 14 hasn't even premiered yet. And so I'm sure no decisions have been made. Now they may be eyeing people, that they might want to bring into the mix or to maybe take out of the mix. But to have said that she's fired at this point, I just don't see it. And Kandi is a money maker. She's one of the last OGs on this franchise. Now, granted, she's not an OG from the perspective of being there from episode 1, but she is an OG from the perspective of being the longest running housewives on the Atlanta franchise. And quite simply, Kandi, to me, is representative of Atlanta. Now, I do not live in Atlanta. I can only tell you by what my impressions of Atlanta are. And Kandi seems to be deeply rooted in Atlanta. And so it makes sense to keep somebody like that. And I will tell you guys this. The other notion is that, these franchises, they continue to, I don't want to say steer themselves wrong, especially with OC, When you take out the OGs, the people who have been there the longest, you essentially begin to create a different show. That's what we're seeing with the Real Housewives of Orange County right now, and that is why fans are not really vibing with this season and the seasons past. Now, the same would be said of Atlanta if they get rid of Kandi, To me, these shows are about a group of friends that live in a particular environment, a particular city or a town or a space. And it's really about how these groups of friends sort of maneuver with each other and evolve over the course of time with the backdrop of fabulosity, Now, having said that, the other bit of tea that Gary did give us was that the producers were allegedly saying that while Drew and Kenya brought the drama, it's really going to be Marlo and Sheree who are the standouts of this season. Now, that's interesting to me because, you know, what I do believe is that Sheree will come to work when Sheree knows she needs to work. And what I also believe is that Marlo, just getting her peach for the first time, knows that she too needs to work, okay? Mama's gonna have to work. And so I believe if you have two people who are hungry for, you know, that, you know, that peach juice, okay, then you will have two people who are willing to put in the work and the effort to make the show what it needs to be in order for it to be successful. We just don't want to see no manufactured drama, okay? Now, the other thing that they were saying per Gary with the T was that Kandi and Sanya really weren't bringing it all that much. So, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Again, we just gotta wait to see. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth though. I mean, you know, Kandi does sometimes need to be activated. Now, Kandi got a ready-made storyline with all her family and her businesses and everything like that. But, you know, and if you want to get some fire in Kandi, somebody needs to activate her. And nobody activates Kandi like Nene, Portia, or Kim Zolciak, okay? Maybe Marlo back in the day at one point in time, but it's really been Nene, Portia, and Kim Zolciak that have really taken Kandi to that next level. And we not won't even talk about Phaedra Parks because she, you know, she won't even be on the show if Phaedra is there. Now, speaking of Sanya, as we just talked about in another interview with ET, well, it's really the same interview that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, but we didn't get this part of it though, that Drew Sidora says that she has been on quite a journey trying to get to know Sanya Richards-Ross, which tells me that there's probably a little bit of tension along the way between Drew and Sanya. So we got that to look forward to as well. Now, with regards to Jeannie Mai and the potential of joining the Real Housewives of Atlanta, do I see it? No, okay? No, I don't. Let me tell you why. You know, one of the things that I don't want the network to do is just to continue to drop a name into a franchise and think that because there's a name there that it's going to attract viewers or that it's going to make the show pop. These, again, I said it earlier in this video, these shows are built on authentic relationships and they work best when the relationships are authentic. I don't really see too many of these ladies having real close relationships with, you know, the Jeannie Mai's of it all or whatever like that. Nor do I think it would be smart for her to enter this realm in this capacity. I just don't think it would be a good fit, personally, okay? She need to go ahead and enjoy her family, enjoy her baby, and do, you know, do the real whenever she can, or whatever she want to do. Heck, I don't even know if I would do any more work, to be quite honest with you, because you know he got the coin, and I am sure she would probably prefer to spend some time, you know, with the baby and enjoying married life, and maybe, you know, developing some other businesses of her own. You know what I'm saying? That's less stressful, less taxing, less drama, okay? Now, with that being said, you know, here's the thing. Bring in people that are actually friends and that actually would fit into the circle in Atlanta. Atlanta is ripe with talent. And you need look no further than just the fact that, you know, Kandi and Portia were down to the wedding for Debrat and Judy. Those are the types of connections you want. Now, I'm not saying they should be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm simply saying that those are the connections you want because they are people who bring cast members together. Do you see how that works? And it makes much more sense than a Jeannie Mai, you know what I'm saying, who would seemingly be dropped in out of nowhere. And we don't want no more of these situations where, oh, we're gonna pull in somebody and we're gonna make it seem like y'all are friends, a la Portia and Fallon. Because now that the wool has been pulled back from over our eyes, we know that the two of them were not actually friends, okay? So let's make this thing organic as possible. Bringing in somebody like a Monyetta Shaw is definitely the right move because she makes sense. We know that there's a relationship with Kandi and some of the other girls potentially. So I'm excited to see what this new season bring. And Gary with the T did say that he was told that this season was explosive. So we got that to look forward to. Now, that's all the news that I got for you guys right now. Keep it locked onto the channel and we will be back at you in the next video.